Hi Gemini, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. Welcome to your love reading for October. I'm really sorry that I did not get to you guys. There were a few signs that I missed for the October readings. Just kind of ran out of time, hit a brick wall. I had to choose myself, hit that hiatus for a few days in order to reset. Guys, this energy is heavy for everybody. And if you are in a profession or you know somebody that's in a profession that works with people, it doesn't have to be even in the healing form, but you know, anybody that's really working with a lot of other people at this time, we're absorbing a lot of other people's energy. Gemini, the thing is, you guys as an air sign and the most intelligent air sign, you might be really adaptable to this. You're actually quite good at taking in information, not absorbing the emotion of it. So you might lack empathy a little bit. Now, I'm sure you have other placements in your chart that kind of soften that. But if you're stepping into situations this month where you're losing your patience with people, they seem to be not showing up for you, maybe not stepping it up at work, and you're kind of wondering what the heck is going on with everybody. Well, in one way or another, we are all feeling this energy, and we are really in the thick of the hardest, most tumultuous time in 2020. So even if you are somebody who's not experiencing a whole lot of stuff right now, it would be in your benefit to be a little extra sensitive to the people around you. Cut people some slack a little bit. Okay, so let's jump into these cards, and I'm going to kind of go back and forth with the astrology. Your reading was a little bit heavy, so I want to take a deeper dive into some of this stuff. Now, you are coming out as a Child of Wands. They depict the wands in this deck. This is a Spacious tarot deck. The description and the creators are in the description box. But they describe the wands with a lizard, and I love that because, you know, my fire signs, or the fire within all of us is that intuitive inspiration. And with that comes kind of that lizard mind, trying to gauge whether things are safe or not. Now, the Child of Wands here, to me, talks about somebody who might approach situations from a somewhat childish manner. I don't want to insult anybody, Gemini, but I'm going to read this the way that my heart is telling me to read it. It might be a little bit harsh, but with introspection, you might need something from this. When somebody operates from a childish standpoint in terms of what they want and desire, it could quite literally be a little bit like word vomit, right? Or like a giant temper tantrum. We're not using our emotional intelligence. We're not leaning on our intellectual information. We're not looking at facts. It's just kind of like, oh my God, we're feeling and we're saying, and it's all kind of all out there, right? Now, if this is you, it's probably a good idea to rein things in a little bit and start to ask yourself why you're having reactions the way that you are. Why are you feeling these things from these situations? Now, if this isn't your energy, if there's somebody around you that is in the energy of the Child of Wands, it could be somebody who's afraid to take the next step, afraid to take things to the next level. They may act childish in terms of wanting to play the field, not invest in the relationship. Or maybe this is the energy that you're in, where you don't really want to take anything seriously right now. You're not really looking for a commitment. Now, next to the Child of Wands comes the Strength card. And because this is a love reading, I'm intuitively sensing that there is an attraction to someone. And maybe you're not really getting the attention or the reaction that you are hoping to get out of them. Now, we have this, for the past year, all of 2020, this square in your 8th house of Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. And they're all getting squared by the sun. And they're all getting squared by Mars and Aries. So this is the pressure cooker here. There's things that are coming to the surface. And there's also a big emphasis on Venus this month as she goes through Virgo, which is your 4th house, your emotional foundations, your ability to feel safe. And Virgo energy can make you be a little bit hyper vigilant, maybe even a little bit neurotic. Okay. And especially in the Gemini kind of energy, you could have a hard time focusing because your energy keeps getting drawn to things of the past, things that happen to make you who you are, or what your experiences have been sort of up to this point. And when I see the Child of Wands next to the Strength card, it either means that you are trying to reach out for somebody who is exuding their willpower, standing strong in what they believe, which could have you really in a place of frustration, you know, not knowing exactly how to handle this. And if you're coming at it from a childish standpoint, when you're really frustrated, you might be acting out in ways that might even shock you. Kind of saying the things that maybe sometimes you think in your mind, but you never say out loud, you know, and then Mars retrograde comes and all of a sudden you're saying everything because this frustration is being brought to the surface. Now, beneath the Child of Wands and the Strength card is the Guilt card. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. Things are coming back from the past for you, Gemini. And I think it's really having to take a time out and look at how you've approached things this far. Now, we are focusing on a specific relationship. You may be dealing with somebody who's a Leo, or you might be dealing with somebody who, like I said, is really exuding their self-control and their power. Maybe even blocking communication, maybe out of anger, fear, resentment, guilt, all of those emotions associated to that fight or flight mode. Could be feelings of jealousy, insecurities that come to the surface, and maybe you say things that maybe you shouldn't have said. And I think this person is forming a very strong boundary. And this might be the force that you're attempting to overcome. Now, the next card, the center card, is that of the Six of Pentacles. And this is what we're looking at right now in our energies. The Six of Pentacles is really about balance. But I like this particular deck because it shows 3 circles. And for me, anytime I see a circle or a wheel within a card, I know that destiny and karma are at play. We are on karmic cycles, okay? The planets move in cycles. Astrology is about timing. We're always going through cycles. Now we have 3 cycles here in the middle. There is a cycle for each of you individually, your own karmic journeys. And then the cycle above, which is the cycle of your journey together. I think with the Six of Pentacles, there's a closing out of one cycle and a stepping into another. Now, the Six of Pentacles means there has to be very physical, real world results, right? You have to see something to believe it. So if your person is coming from a place of waiting for you to prove you are who you say you are, to prove that you didn't, okay, because the guilt card's here and the Six of Pentacles, I feel is kind of the facts, having to really look at something clearly, because it's balancing the energies. It's a lot about being able to give and receive. Now, Gemini, whether you know it or not, we have Uranus moving through your 12th house of self-sabotage, meaning you could kind of be knocked out of your comfort zones and really act in very unusual and outrageous ways, right? Uranus. Maybe even, 12th house is a lot about secrets. Doesn't have to be that you cheated or, but somewhere deep down you're carrying a feeling of guilt. And the Six of Pentacles means that you need to even out the situation. Sometimes when we get into a place of guilt, when we're angry with ourselves for making a mistake or a bad decision, if we're angry at ourselves for selling ourselves short in a situation, guilt can come to surface in a lot of different ways, and it's a very projecting emotion. So a lot of times you can come off as angry towards a loved one when actually this is very deep-seated anger of yourself, towards yourself. There's a deep healing that needs to occur in the area of being deserving of being loved. Okay, this is 8th house stuff. This is trust. If you've been hurt in the past, or maybe you've hurt others in the past, and you're afraid of repeated cycles, you might act out in surprising ways that kind of do sabotage the things that you have going. And I think this is a pattern that is really being brought to the surface, Gemini, so that you can ultimately heal it. Now, underneath that Six of Pentacles is the Oracle card of separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So you may currently or very soon be put in a situation where there is a separation. It doesn't have to be breaking up. It could be somebody having to travel, maybe somebody getting quarantined. There's a number of situations that this can be, that this can play out. Interesting though, the overall energy, and right above the Six of Pentacles is the Guardian of Cups. And I think this is a really important card for a couple of reasons. The Guardian of Cups is an energy of trying to protect something, okay? Nurturing something that you find really special. A Guardian of Cups can honestly mean, and I'll get to this further in a second with the Star card that pops up, things are happening in order to cause a separation. Somebody's blocking you off for your own protection, okay? I think it means that you're in a really emotionally raw and vulnerable place. That's where it's gonna feel rough the next few weeks. This is kind of a place of fears coming to the surface, unraveling, having to deal with some really heavy issues. The Guardian of Cups is acknowledging that something is very precious. and that healing or caretaking is involved in some way. Next to the Six of Pentacles is the Star card, and this is in your challenge position, meaning there's a little bit of resistance here, and this represents the healing process. If you are self-sabotaging a relationship, Gemini, because you feel deep down inside from early childhood in some way, shape, or form that you do not deserve love, then it's going to be hard for you to embrace the healing process. Things need to be nurtured now. You need to be nurtured now, Gemini. Now more than ever is time for you to retreat and to heal. The Star card means you're starting a journey of ascension, okay? This is where all of those things you said you've always wanted, those things that you've been manifesting, well, you go through a little bit of a dark night of the soul so that you realize that you're deserving enough to embrace it when the universe hands it to you. And underneath the Star card is true love. This is a romance of a lifetime. There's no indication other than the separation card that this is ultimately over, okay? Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde. If we're breaking up right now, it definitely might mean that we'll get back together. If you, it could also represent getting back together with somebody of the past, okay? But none of that is actually able to occur until you do this healing process, looking really deep into yourself. Because the thing about the Star is, like I said, there's that feeling of vulnerability. So there's Geminis walking around saying, oh, I wish that I had this particular love, this kind of a relationship, you know, like calling out to your soulmate. And yet there's this feeling in your mind that, it'll never happen, that you're not worthy of it. You probably have a list of reasons why people wouldn't want to be with you or people wouldn't want to invest in you. Six of Pentacles can often represent where we don't feel like we have enough to give. We don't have enough to offer. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be money, okay? But there could be areas in your life where you feel unworthy or inferior. So maybe there's frustration in yourself because you can't contribute as much as the other person does to the relationship. This could be financially, being that all of this stuff is happening in your 8th house. It could also be emotionally. And as I always say, if you pay attention to your emotions, it will tell you where you are financially in life. If you're feeling a lack, if you're feeling like you get less than you deserve, that you give too much, or maybe you're afraid to go to those deeper, intimate levels with another person. Maybe you're afraid to share resources with another person. Maybe there's those deep trust issues there that right now things are triggering some kind of a, there's anger being triggered, and maybe it's from something in your past that doesn't even relate to this person. Okay, but these are the things that have to be cleared out. And if you could just imagine, Venus in Virgo in your 4th house is like taking that giant broom and sweeping all of the debris out and making a new start. And I think that's where we're at emotionally. Remember, your 4th house is your emotions, your foundation, your safety. There's a need for you to be able to feel safe. And so there's a healing that has to occur before you could step into this kind of relationship. Your final card is that of the 3 of Wands. which is an insurance that inspiration will come. The Three of Wands is where we want and desire something, right? That it's a little bit more powerful than the Child of Wands, which kind of keeps it at a distance, not wanting to really invest. And so when I see this Three of Wands, I actually see the desire deepening, the desire growing. I think there's an idea that it's going to take a little while to get back on track, either with your relationship or even just with yourself, before you can come back to, participating in a relationship. But the Three of Wands is determination. And that's a gift from the universe, because it means that in this period of time, from mid-October to mid-November, you're really going to start to see the reason why relationships haven't been working out for you. It's really time to clean out that emotional sludge from our lives and start with a clean slate by addressing those issues. Now, underneath the Three of Wands is the card of flexible, number 19, breaking down to a 10. Again, this is ending a cycle of imbalance. Flexible. I think you're going to get a lot of insight this month, honestly. You've got Uranus, who's really lit up now, opposing a Mercury retrograde. You could get moments of amazing inspiration. You could have the craziest dreams. You could have people come back from the past. 12th house is kind of isolation. So it tells me that you're going to take time for yourself. In that time, you're being asked to remain flexible. Now, Gemini, you are a mutable sign. This is your gift, your ability to remain flexible, to see things from each perspective and to explore it. And that Child of Wands, if used in a high vibration, that Child of Wands is a curiosity to start to really empower yourself. And I think this Guardian of Cups is also, destiny or spirit or guardian angels maybe protecting this relationship. Maybe it's something that you don't see clearly now. Maybe the forced separation is exactly what was needed so that you both can see the value in this. You're both on your own individual healing journey. And if you're meant to come back together, it will happen very naturally when the time is right, when you are ready at a soul level. I think it's time to invest in yourself. I think it's time to really take that journey. If you are somebody who's dealing with some mental health crises, if you're dealing with, because sometimes these 12th house transits can really show us that maybe we've been deeply unhappy for a while. And maybe these breakthroughs are the time where we get help. We reach out, we ask somebody for help. And with that true love card, I also think it's an opportunity for you to really do the things that show that you love yourself. If you're dealing with addictions or a health crisis of any sort, investing time in your own healing is where the magic really begins. And the rest of it just kind of unfolds before you. Once you reach this certain level, the universe is going to bring you right back. It's going to bring you right back to the things that are meant to stay in your life. So you don't have to have a lot of anxiety over things. I think now it's a time to focus on you, focus on those wounds and why you feel so agitated, and really take a look at how you could heal some of that. All right, Gemini. I should be back to my monthlies pretty soon. For November, I can't believe it's going to be November. That's so insane. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. The community is really growing beautifully. I'm so excited about it. And it helps with the algorithm, so you would be doing me a huge favor. All right, guys. I hope this time is good for you, and I will be checking back in a couple of weeks. Love you so much. Take care. Bye.